like many of you, my introduction to this world wasn't your quote-unquote normal one. You see, I was given a number before given a name. I was labeled a statistic before given a chance. See, I was born in prison, awaiting extradition on federal drug charges at the time of my birth. My father was torn about my conception due to his inability to provide and he himself being in and out of prison. Luckily, they were my two grandmothers, Martha Gethers and the late Saveda Rhodes, who jointly took on the responsibility of raising me to avoid me being placed in the child and welfare system, instilling in me the moral compass necessary to navigate the tough road ahead. That wasn't an easy job. Two elderly women raising an African-American boy during the 80s and 90s, in tough neighborhoods. But growing up, I knew that my life was different than kids my age. Normally, young boys my age, when it came down to summertime, they would look forward to vacations and accompanying their parents to take your son and daughter to day work and running around idolizing their superheroes. Me, on the other hand, I look forward to prison bus trips and family day at Lawton Penitentiary. See, while I had superheroes, my superheroes didn't wear capes or masks. My superheroes wore khakis, state greens, and what we call prison blues. You see, growing up, I thought that all men went to prison at some point in their life, because all the men that I've ever known, all the men that I've loved, that I held dear to me, went to prison and were celebrated for doing so. So despite all the attempts and efforts of my grandparents, my actions and lack of fear of the consequences led to me succumbing to the pressures of my environment, which would lead to an early introduction to the juvenile justice system. But it wasn't until my brush with the adult system that I realized prison is designed to do two things. And no, it's not rehabilitate. It's to desensitize and dehumanize those that are placed within it. And I understood that this was no place for me. Also, it was at this moment that I realized why I met a certain individual. Why I met Lisa Christopher. I look at life as a journey. And along this journey, you have tour guides. These tour guides help you get from point A to point B. Lisa Christopher was that tour guide for me. She was that disruption, that positive disruption. She saw the potential in me before I was able to identify the potential in myself. She forced me to look deep into my pain to discover my purpose. Today, I work as a youth development representative for the Department of Youth and Rehabilitation Services here in Washington, D.C., where I work with in-court youth, trying to be that disruption to the cradle to prison pipeline and provide them with hope and focus so that they can re-alter their decision-making when they are released and don't fall into the lines and the traps that society has already predestined for them. My work as a mentor with children of incarcerated parents, my main goal is to reshape that platform that a child of an incarcerated parent stands on. See, oftentimes when we think about mass incarceration, we rarely look at the collateral damage of the families that are left behind. You see, the fight against mass incarceration and the collateral damage of it takes very dedicated and forward-thinking individuals that are committed to efforts such as aggressive mentoring and collaborating resources that are geared towards the restabilization of families through creating a stronger workforce and more gentle school systems where schools are more open and to the environments in which, to the communities in which they serve. See, the restabilization is the key to it all. Because stronger families lead to stronger communities. Stronger communities lead to an even stronger culture. This reminds me of something that my grandmother used to say, and it's funny because she was an avid card player, so all of her lessons were geared around cards, right? So she would say, in life, you don't choose the cards that you're dealt, like spades. All the cards are dealt in the deck. You don't choose it. You can't throw it in either. You have to look at it with your poker face. You have to analyze it. And you have to strategically play that hand out. How well you play that hand out dictates your success. And I say this to say that we all have the moral responsibility to be that disruption in someone's life. We often look at the word disruption from a negative lens. But you can be that positive disruption in someone's life. You can aspire to inspire those that are uninspired due to the raw hand that society has dealt. I thank you all.